Hola amigos y amigas, I am Leila, also known as Ms. Bohemian. I'm not going to talk super loud because my family's sleeping. It's not very early in the morning, but they're still sleeping. And I'm trying out something new. Instead of filming in my closet with like a table, which is really hard to fit in my closet and my fake background, I'm filming in my office on the floor. It just feels more comfortable and more natural. And I'm actually super excited because if you've seen my videos, if you know me, you know that I own these beautiful pineapple Moxi lollies. To know me is to know that I obsessively love the Moxi lolly. With this whole global situation, and you're not supposed to say the P word, so we'll call it the panini. With the whole panini situation, I've been down in spite of the fact that I'm skating every day and that I really don't have as many reasons to be down as a lot of people in the world. But I decided, you know, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't go out, I don't travel, I don't do anything extravagant. So once a year, I'm gonna give myself, if life allows, a new pair of Moxi skates. I didn't do it last year, so I bought myself 2 pairs of new skates. You saw them in my previous video, one of the previous videos that I did where I waterproof the skates. But today's video is an official unboxing video. So welcome to the unboxing of my Floss Moxi lollies. I want to note there are ways to buy skates that are brand new and be sustainable. I try to not buy fast fashion. I try to not buy clothes from stores. I try to always buy from places like Poshmark or go thrifting and buy clothes that are secondhand, except for, of course, the occasional times that I buy Moxi sweatshirts and other things like that. But for the most part, I've been thrifting and Poshmarking and buying off such sites, and the floss skates you can readily get. You can even get it via Moxi on Amazon, so that way you get free shipping. You can get it through Moxi's website, you can get it through local skate shops. They currently retail at $3.49. When I got my pineapple lollies, they were retailing at $2.99, so I got my lollies for $2.99, but they currently retail at $3.49. And I didn't know what color I wanted to get. I decided on a whim to check Facebook Marketplace, and there was this local seller with Moxis my size, brand new. He had them listed at $300, and I just asked her, do you have any wiggle room? So I ended up getting them, no shipping, because I picked them up in person for $275, brand new. It helps to check and see what can you find close to you, or maybe you'll get a deal. A lot of people do try to sell them higher and mark it up, and that's ridiculous. I would recommend that you avoid that. But today, since we already know how I feel about the lollies, and you can see all that in my original unboxing of the pineapple lollies in the video here, I'm not really gonna go through the reaction and putting my foot in there because they're bomb. They're amazing. They contour to your feet. I'll list a link below where you can go check out the specs. They're the most incredible skates. If you want to even begin skating, I would just recommend invest in a good pair like the lollies to begin with, because if you're gonna keep buying skates, discard your old skates. That'll lead you to your lollies. You might as well just get the lollies and you save more in the long run. I am biased. In this video, my official unboxing of these skates, what I'm going to do is technically just what we do with new skates, what you want to check, and I want to dress mine up. I want to prep them and dress them up. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I have ready here for these skates. We're going to give them leopard print, cheetah print laces, toe caps. Like my other ones, I'm just really hung up on the design. I want to change the cushions. One thing I do know about myself is that I like soft cushions. The Moxi lollies come with the orange color that you see. That's the medium cushions, medium durometer cushions. As far as hardness goes, you have soft, medium, and hard. The hard ones are yellow, the medium are orange, and the soft are red. And I have a whole video on that, and I have a whole video on everything that you're going to see me do, and you can watch them all, find them all in my playlist. Just go to the playlist, find what you like, and I'm just kind of casually going to be changing things here and giving you an overview. But if you want a more in-depth look at what to do and how to change things, look at that video. These toe stops for them, and I'm giving it kind of like a color theme of floss, pink, and leopard print. And of course, I also needed to get patches for my skates. This one says, "Don't tell me to smile," and this one says feminist. Maybe cheesy, but I dig it. And an eye to hang on the side to keep with my feminist and eye theme. So hopefully it looks good. If not, I'll just have to replace it at some point. I think it looks good. It's so weird for me to be talking so low because I'm normally loud. I'm also really subdued because I'm really tired. So basically, whenever you get skates, I'm obviously dressing mine up first, but then you have to check the basics like the wheels and whatnot. So we should probably change the cushion first. So that's what I'll do. I'm gonna have to punch holes into my patches because it doesn't have any. So I do have one of those puncher thingies that gives a grommet to the hole. So my thing is gonna be to align this heart to this one and make sure that I have the holes lined up, because if I get it wrong, then I'm gonna have to wait on the patch and reorder it, and I don't want to do that. So let's start by changing the cushions. Again, I have a more in-depth video in my playlist that has already been linked to in the cards, and it'll be linked to in the description box below. But basically, you wanna unscrew this portion of the skate that's attached to the trucks to replace the cushions, but you want to pay attention to how things go back. That was key for me the very first time I did it. Each time I do it, I have to remember, so easy to forget if you're not paying attention. There's a portion that's indented in. This comes on the outside. This one goes down so that it can go back flat. This goes down because it has to envelop the cushion. My wheels, this is gonna go down obviously. And so these are the old cushions. And there's a plate here holding it. I don't know if it's called a plate, but I guess I just gave it that name. My old cushions can go in there. I purchased these cushions from the Moxi website, which is where you can get them. Basically put it back in, align the wheels, put the next set. This goes downward so that it can hug the cushion, and the screw goes in. You can do a portion of it by hand and then screw it back on. And then obviously this is also what lets you know how loose you want your trucks to be or how tight you want your trucks to be, and that's something I will be basically testing out later when I skate in the skates. But I also can look at my current Moxis and get an idea of how I have them. So that's a personal preference. Do you want your trucks to be loose? Do you want them to be firm? I like my skating setup to be very loose, which is why I have soft cushions and loose trucks, which works for me. And I think that's pretty much how I have them here. I have them very loose, almost to the penultimate ridge. Now we basically do the same thing on the rest. Fast forward to those. Obviously, when you have them in, you want to make sure that this doesn't jiggle in any way, it's secure and firm, which it is. And then beyond that, once you know it's in a firm space, that's when you check and see how soft you want your trucks to be. And like I said, I like mine really soft, loose, not soft, but my cushions are soft. So the same process with both sides of the skate. If you're a newer skater, basically with the trucks, the looseness or the tightness of a truck means how much sway you get here when you're like leaning and moving with your feet. And so if you have looser trucks, it allows you more leeway to do that. If you have a tighter truck, it's kind of more rigid in a sense. And I like mine looser. And there's, depending on what type of skating you do, what your preference might be, etc. I haven't done street skating in a while because I keep having injuries that I need to heal from, so I've been focusing on staying inside to stay safe, and so I've been doing a lot of roller dancing and learning that, and so having looser trucks helps me. Ideally I should have smaller wheels and indoor wheels, but I'm just attached to my outdoor wheels, so I haven't made that switch yet, but at some point one of my skates should have that kind of setup. But there's different setups that you can have depending on what kind of skating you do, and also personal preference. My personal preference has just been loose trucks. So that's done. And so that's not something you need to do. It's just my personal preference to change the cushions. But a basic thing that you definitely have to do before you ever even get your skates on and try to roll with them is check the wheels. You want it to be in a space where it has a nice steady roll, but also not like clacking. You want to make sure, test them to be secure, and oftentimes a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take the screw to a place where you're not having a good roll, and then you just inch back a tiny bit and test it. So that's not a good roll. Inch back a tiny bit and test it. I think I went a little too far, so, and that's a good roll, and it's also steady. So you're as close to the tightest space that you can be without being in a tight space that doesn't allow for a good roll while having the good roll. Do you know what I mean? So you want to get to that space but not have it be super loose either to have it be in danger of coming off. So I think that works for this one, and you basically want to do the same for all of them. So I'll take it to a little bit of a tight space first and then inch back a little. Inch back a little. That's a good roll. Better inch back a little. See, I think that's a good roll. And then basically do that on all the wheels. anytime you're skating, always be sure to have your tool, whichever tool you're using, handy and close with you. And make it a habit to check your wheels each time you're gonna go skate. I'm not gonna change the toe stops just yet. That's gonna come in when I'm doing, because I'm putting toe covers, and so how you're gonna insert them matters. And then lacing, because it's gonna go through the toe caps. And so because I'm doing something artsy to my skates, I want to make sure, how am I going to fit this on my skates? Probably going to align it with the heart to see where I'm going to puncture my holes. Obviously this isn't really much of a skating thing. Ideally I should be removing this heart from my skates to align it, but it's taken me forever to find like the proper spot to put them on. So I'm gonna see if I can do it this way. Maybe like put a pen through the hole. And so we're gonna fast forward through this while I do it, but I'm basically gonna be trying to align the holes so that I know it's gonna fit the laces. And I have these grommets and this puncture thingy, I don't know what to call it. And hopefully I'm gonna do it all right and not fuck up so that I can have everything ready to go. And you're gonna see me doing that prep, and that's what we're fast forwarding through. The actual decorating part can begin. This is the fun part. Also a little bit of a pain, because when you want to put the toe caps in, this is a key thing. A lot of people will have the toe cap go against the plate, and then there's a screw that I'll show you on the outside of the toe cap, and then the toe stop. You don't want to do it that way. You want to do the screw, the toe cap, and then the toe stop, because if you have the toe cap against the plate, it might eventually go into the ridges of the plate where it gets screwed in, where the toe stop gets screwed into the plate, and it might cause some damage, at which point you'd have to replace the entire plate, which is very costly. So you want to avoid that, and I'll explain more. But first, you remove the old toe stop. Nothing wrong with the Moxi toe stops, but I like my toe stops to be long stem. It allows for it to jut out more in case I need that. And I like my toe stops that way so far. And I also like my surface of my toe stops to be wider and pretty like those heart ones. But Moxi has some really beautiful flower toe stops that you can check out on their website. So when you're taking this out, this is what you want to pay attention to. So you get it to go back in. You have a washer. The washer is going to go first. And there's like a curved edge. The curve goes against the plate. This is a screw head thing, whatever you call it. Can't remember what you call these. My brain is so fried. So this is gonna go here, then the screw is gonna go, then the toe cap, then this. So technically, if you just kind of want to get it going first, you can have. So I want to get it going a little bit so that it makes it easier to put in. Put the washer against it, and then initially screw it in by hand. And because I already have a setup here, I can eyeball to get an idea as to where I might want it to go in. And I'll show you how I can align it to match. But you start screwing, taking the screw down towards the plate. So you want to do it under the toe cap so that now you can see that this makes sense. See, the screw is going in and the toe cap is here. It's going to be held secure by the laces, but it's not sandwiched against the plate. So now, because I have like a shape to it, I have to loosen it and adjust accordingly to have the heart aligned how it should be. So depending on what you're using, you just play with it accordingly. And before I tighten, a way that you see if your skates are aligned, I want my toe stops to be the same as these. I can already tell visually that they're lower, but to show you, you align the wheels and then you lean them both forward. And as you can see, they're not in the same space. So then you just keep adjusting accordingly until the skates are aligned. And so that's what you would do with your pair. And I'm just gonna fast forward to that because that's all I'm gonna be doing. But obviously, if I wanted to get screwed in a little more, I have to loosen the screw that I just tightened against the plate so that I can screw the heart in more and play with it that way. And so I'll keep testing before I fully tighten the entire thing. And when you're tightening it and you have it where you want it to be, you really want to be tightening it hard so that you don't have any danger of it coming loose on you while you're skating. Tight as you can make it. The The heart stoppers, which is what these are called, are by Grindstone. I love them. I will link to them below. Grindstone is awesome. Once you have it just right, you're good. Should I be checking it technically? Let me check. Yeah, I think it's good. It's not like the most glamorous process. I just want to like triple check that they're tight. And now release them. They're gonna look cute, but it's also a pain in the ass process. The nice thing is I have my skates already, so it gives me an idea where they go. It's not the easiest process, or at least for me it wasn't, to like match where everything goes. But first, to attach the toe caps, run your laces through. I just run them through the holes immediately. Run it through this hole, run it through the boots, first hole by the tip. Other people have different ways to do it. This is how it's worked well for me. And then I want to make sure that these are aligned, obviously, so that you have kind of the same exact length on each side. I'm very picky. I have to go through this because I unlaced it, I loosened it, but I like my laces to run flat and not be like loopy and off and twisted. Nice and flat and smooth and continuous. So first I'm trying to get that going, and then I'm gonna focus on the length on each side, which turned out to be pretty good. So we're there. So this is what's gonna hold your toe caps tight against your boot. And then it's kind of like a guessing game as to where things go to fit the patches to the boot, but that's neither here nor there. That's if you're putting patches, that's just my personal thing, and the dressing up of these particular boots. I'm so low energy today, and my family's now awake. I could be talking louder, but I'm just so low energy, so forgive me. I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep. I'm facing it towards me because I kind of have to see where it goes, but a lot of the trickiness is also how is the lace going to go in. You know, I'm going to be fast forwarding through this from now on because it's a pain and it's not the funnest thing to tape. This is actually a better way to do it. Pass it through the toe cap first because you can adjust it more easily. Make sure everything's aligned, nice and flat against the toe cap. If you want just like little snippets of the process, then look at the playlist. I think that's good enough, whatever. I always drag my feet about doing this, but they look amazing. Finally, complete. Here we go. I'm actually tempted to move this up a little higher, which would mean just doing, anyway, I'd have to figure it out because how the laces go in affects how you're going to be able to put this in. But if I move it in a little higher, it doesn't matter. This is it. This is the final result. These are my new skates. They are looking gorgeous and color coordinated and absolutely fabulous. I am super tired. Thank you for bearing with me. Hopefully this video doesn't suck, and hopefully the strawberry ones will be better. So stay tuned to see what that look is gonna entail. And that's it. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos. If you like this video, please hit like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more. And I'll see you in my next one. Ciao for now.